Hello everybody, my name is Eric D. Johnson, also known by BrightShine, right here in the city of Memphis and the county seat of Memphis, Tennessee. And today's date is early, Sunday morning, May the 26th, 2019. The time, 1:52 a.m. First, I thank all my family, my support for you, continue encouraging, support, continue to keep myself employed right here in this Memphis tri-state area and continue to further my education, Monroe College online, pursuing my social degree, studying business administration, concentration marketing at the present time, taking a break from going to school. But in the very near future, I will be going back to Monroe College online to continue to pursue my social degree, studying business administration, concentration marketing. Also this year, January 2019, I enrolled at Health Tech Institute of Memphis right there on Vance Avenue in the medical assistant program. And the reason I did that because back in 2010, I was a student at Remington College right here in this Memphis tri-state area, and I was enrolled in the medical billing and coding program, and I graduated with a diploma, but I didn't earn that certification because at the point in time they was offering, but they didn't pay for it. They wanted you to pay for it, so I didn't get the certification. But like I said, this year in January 2019, I enrolled at the Health Tech Institute of Memphis and in the medical assistant program, and I graduated in October with the diploma as well as with the certification. So and also this being a Memorial Day weekend, so it's a 3-day weekend. Saturday, Sunday, and Memorial Day is this coming Monday. So I'll be off Saturday, Sunday, and I'll be off Monday. And I made a decision that I'm gonna do 3 videos. I'm gonna do a video today. I'm gonna do a video tomorrow, and then I'm gonna do another video. So without any further ado, I'm finna do my Instagram, and so let's do that. And one more thing, while it's on my mind, the United Nations recognized International Day of United Nations Peacekeepers. So we want to United Nations International Day of United Nations Peacekeepers. All right, let's go do Instagram. Hello everybody, my name is Eric D. Johnson, also known by BrightShine, right here in the city of Memphis and the county seat of Memphis, state of Tennessee. And today's date is early, Sunday morning, May the 26th, 2019. The time, 1:56 a.m. First, I thank all my family, my support for your continued encouragement, support, and anti-gang. Now, these are just a few of the free logo design websites that you can go to make anti-gang logo. Excuse me. First one, I always give thanks to God. I always put God first. God first. See, we ain't with all that old devil worship that want to be devil worship, because there's no such thing. And being a devil worship, no such thing. So God first. God first, because the devil being punished by God, and all the devil's angels being punished by God, as well as all those that offend and that do iniquity being punished by God. Put God first. Put God first. Ain't none of that. Ain't none of that stupid foolishness that you've been claiming. Now, put God first. Now, let me say this first. We know this the Memorial Day weekend. Memorial Day weekend. And so I'm going to do my video. I don't have to go to work. I'm doing a video today. I'm going to do another video tomorrow. And the Memorial Day holiday, I ain't got to go back to work till Tuesday morning. So it'll be 3 videos. It's going to be 3 videos this weekend because the 3 the holiday. And don't forget, it's Memorial Day. And, Memorial Day. And, well, I mean, everybody don't live in the United States of America, of course. But Memorial Day weekend, so it'll be 3 videos. I'm going to move fast today because I want to get to my Bible reading. Because we know these want to be devil worshippers. And, all these want to be devil worshippers over at the college, university campus. With all that exotericism and hermetism and Gnosticism and all that Kabbalah and all that made up junk. And the Catholic Church and all the Baptist Church and the Methodist Church and the Church of Christ, all these want to be devil worshippers. But let me say this before we get started, because I ain't going to be long, because I want to get, like I said, I want to get to my Bible reading. This is the United Nations International Day of United Nations Peacekeepers. So I want to make sure I mention that. Now let's get to it. I'm gonna be moving a little fast on this. The sorority and the fraternity. Gotta stay on top of that. Now let me say this. No, I'm gonna continue to complain and speak out. People saying they're a gang and a mob, and they put the word stir on the end. But Merriam-Webster Stir, New International Dictionary, and Oxford English Dictionary, they give you the complete and total definition, meaning of the word gang and mob and stir and all the other words. And then it's talking about you a boss and a goon and a thug and a crook and a hoodlum, a mac and a player, a pimp and a whore and a hustler, and you talking about you a nigga, a field nigga, house nigga. Look, it's all street slang. People all on this earth, all over the earth, communicate and they use language. Now, examples of street slang. Hip hop. Tic-tac-toe, for example. Hop and scotch. Cheers in the game, hop and scotch for that. Now, in music, examples of street slang: hip and hop, rock and roll, swing, groove, jazz, blues, funk, doo wop, bebop. It's all street slang. Now, people use money, people use currency, use exchange. We can go to the quick reference Wikipedia. We can look up money, currency, exchange. People all over the world make up street slang for money, currency, exchange. Here in the United States of America, examples of street slang for money, currency, exchange: bucks, rack, stack, bands, bread, dough, scratch, loot, moodle, Benjamins, dead presidents. There's nothing official, nothing right about no street slang. Nothing right official about no street slang. Now look, I graduated high school. I always tell you because it's important. I graduated high school. I know how to pronounce these words. I know how to pronounce nigga, and I know what it means. I can look up the etymology of the word. You understand? But see, there was a time in the past, it was just going by what you hear for African Americans being brought over here as slaves. The East African, West African slave trade. You understand? People who were living in sub-Saharan Africa and had their own culture and had way of life, but then forcibly brought here, by the pirates and, all those who were involved in the East African, West African slave trade. You know what I'm saying? And so when it comes to all this street slang and giving education to the slave, well, the only education the slave received was just going by what you hear. Yes, boss. No, boss. Yes, master. No, master. Couldn't even pronounce, master, master. Yes, master. No, master. Yes, boss. Couldn't even say yes or yes, sir. No, sir. Yes, no, sir. See, it's important. It's important. It's important. It's very important. Don't try to negate the importance of continuing to investigate and to expose this wannabe devil worship myth. Because see, it all goes back to this. It's the basis of the whole thing. It's about those people in the past who were deceived by the devil. It's really the devil. That's all it is. Basically, it's the devil. It started with the devil, and then those who are deceived by the devil. You understand? See, you can't just point the finger at this group or that group of people. It goes back to, like it says in about the devil. It tells in about the devil. The devil. And so, I graduated high school. That's important. People, they'll look at me like, everything. See, it's important. I graduated high school. When you hear me on this microphone, speaking, talking, communicating, it's important. When you bring up an issue, that's part of the point. I graduated high school. I have a high school diploma. See, I have a high school diploma, and I also have some years of college at Monroe College Online. Not saying that's the only school I attend, but I just make it a point. I attended Monroe College Online. I haven't earned my social degree yet in business administration, construction, marketing. But I took a break. I'm going to go back. Because, see, I got to pay student loan back. And so I'm going to go back and earn my social degree studying business administration, construction, marketing. Now, some people, they didn't graduate high school, but they have a GED. It's important. It's important to make that point. It's very important. Talking about some gang and mob and stir. It's very important that you make this point. Some people didn't graduate high school, but they have a GED. And some people with a GED, they earn a social degree, bachelor degree, master degree, even a PhD. Some people didn't go that far in school, period. They didn't go that far in school, what they call dropout. Now, that don't mean that you don't know that you're completely ignorant. No, that's not what it means. You dropped out for whatever reason. For whatever reason, you didn't finish school. You didn't go all the way in school for various reasons why. Well, then if you ain't go that far in school, then you don't know reading, you don't know writing, you don't know math, you don't know science and technology. See? And you don't know social studies. And when it comes to vocational and technical training, you don't know that either. Now, on-the-job training is on-the-job training. See? It's important to make that point. It's very important to make that point. Because you hear people say, on-the-job training, you on the job, you didn't go that far in school. But you hear people say boss, goon, thug. You hear people say crook and hoodlum, You hear people all the time say, I'm hustling, I'm out here grinding, I'm on the grind. You say a lot of stuff out your mouth. You say all these words out your mouth, but you didn't go that far in school. That's what the problem is. See, you go by what you hear, but not what you know. And that's a problem. That's a serious problem. Now, you have those that did go further in school. They took what they call the ACT, SAT. They graduated high school. And then, like I say, took the ACT, SAT to get admitted to college. And as a matter of fact, let me see it. Yeah, just a little joke. Let me see the ACT. SAT. Let me see that. Okay. And no, I did not say so what. I did not say. Okay, it was just a little joke. Okay, but the sorority and the fraternity. What time? Okay, I'm gonna speed up a little bit here. All right, Harvard University is the oldest institution of higher learning in the United States, founded March 13, 1639, Cambridge, Massachusetts. And make sure you don't forget these dates are very important because the pre-13 colonies. See, this is what we're talking about. The East African, West African slave trade, the pirates, and the location that the pirates were based in was in the Mediterranean. Most of the pirates were Mediterranean based. Now, when we be talking about the Perizzites and the Hittites and the Hivites, the Jebusites, the Girgasites, the Canaanites, the Amorites, the Midianites, the Moabites, the Philistines. See, some of those people were Indo-European, like the Philistines, the Hittites. They were Indo-European. When you say Jew, that's Indo-European, because that's Latin. See, when certain groups of people hear you say Jew, they'll look all around the world, and then some groups of people will answer back, and that's who will answer back. It'd be the Indo-European. See, it's important that we get a clear understanding about, parts of the world and history. It's important. See, it wasn't just the East African, West African slave trade and the European, because see, the East African slave trade was the Arabs who were doing the slave trade. Then you had the West African slave trade, and it was Afro-Asiatics involved, but then you had other people like the European got involved. But see, you had to remember the pirates, when you come out the East African, West African slave trade, see, the pirates were already involved in slavery before the East African slave trade even started. See, when you talk about Cilicia, Tarsus, and over there in Turkey, with modern day Turkey today, we'll see the base, a location that was a base for the pirates. That was the location, one of the locations, that the pirates used was in modern day Turkey, Cilicia. And there was a lot of slave trading going on during that period of time. And so, like I say, remember those dates. The pre-13 colony is very important. Very important. William and Mary College, Williamsburg, Virginia, founded February 8, 1693. Second oldest institution of higher learning. Gotta speed it up here. Alright. Phi Beta Kappa Society, founded December the 5th, 1776. College of William and Mary is recognized as the first Greek letter student society in North America. Alpha Delta Pi First Sorority, founded in 1851, Wesleyan College in Macon, Georgia. The first organization to adopt the word sorority with Gamma Phi Beta established on November 11, 1874, Syracuse University. Syracuse, New York. Then there was the first women's fraternity. It was at DuPont College, 18 something. Now, the basis of the sorority and the fraternity, them old world secret societies, the Eastern Stars, the Freemasons, for example, they talk about Euclid, the mathematician, the Alexander Egypt, 1425, mentioned the Holloway manuscript, the Regis Point, and the Cook manuscript. And also the Dowling manuscript. Now, examples of them old world secret societies: Skull and Bone, Rosicrucian, the Sons of Liberty, Thug Society, the Private Scion, Ordo Templi Orientis, Knights of the Golden Eagle, the Woodmen, the Ancient Arab Order, the Nobles of the Mystic Shrine, the Improved Order of the Redmen, the P.O. Sisterhood, the Eastern Star, the Freemasons, the Elks, the Loyal Order of Moose, the Bilderberg Group, the Ku Klux Klan, the Knights of Bethesda, Knights of Columbus, the Illuminati, the Fire Society, Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn, the Mystic Order of the Veil, Prophets of the Enchanted Realm, United Order of the Golden Cross, United Ancient Order of Druids, the National Grain, the Ancient Order of Hermannans. Then you had like the Opus Dei. Then you had some like the Knights Templar. For example, the Scottish Rite. For example, you know, it's not like I say, it's just a few. There's some more. There's some more. And the Spanish Garduna, the Carbonaria, the Black Hand. You say Mafia, that's Afro-Asiatic. You say Cosa Nostra, that's Latin. The Triad, the Yakuza, the Osirica. See, it's just a few. There's some more. It's just a few. There's some more. So like I said, don't let the sorority and fraternity mislead you. And when it comes to the sorority and the fraternity, they commit crimes on and off the college and university campus. You see, they're hazing. They use their hazing. It's part of the initiation. And you know that the sorority and the fraternity being on the college and university campus, they use initiation. Well, the initiation rituals are based on supposed devil worship. It's devil worship. That's what it's based on, devil worship. They some wannabe devil worship. The sorority and fraternity, some wannabe devil worship. There's no such thing. It's worshiping the devil. No such thing. Now, they use and abuse tobacco products. They chewing tobacco, cigarettes, cigar. They put drugs in the cigarettes and the cigar. They indulge in gambling and games of chance. They indulge in immoral activities. Anything that's considered a crime. The sorority and fraternity. Then burglary, robbery, rape, assault, cheating, stealing, lying. They use and abuse alcohol and drugs. They indulge in sexual deviance. Don't let the sorority and fraternity mislead you. Look here. Get out the sorority and fraternity. Don't join the sorority and fraternity. Discourage others from being involved in the sorority and fraternity. And expose the sorority and fraternity. Renounce all those that began the sorority and fraternity. Them old world secret society. Denounce the whole concept, idea. Sorority, fraternity, them old world secret society. Denounce. Because see, God told you in His Word, there's no such thing as worship no devil. No such thing. No such thing. So all that old world secret society stuff. Look at the sorority and the fraternity. They work for those businesses, companies, corporations, and they use and misuse the background check. So don't let the sorority and fraternity mislead you. Don't be misled by the sorority and fraternity. And this is the International Bill of Human Rights. And this is the Convention on Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women. And this is the Declaration of the Rights of the Child. And this is the United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child. And this is the world's oldest human rights organization, Anti-Slavery International. And this is the International Federation for Human Rights. This is the world's oldest international conservation organization, BirdLife International. And this is Fauna and Flora International, was the world's first international wildlife conservation organization. And the world's oldest global environmental organization, International Union for Conservation of Nature, also the World Wildlife Fund. Now, just like those organizations we just mentioned, there's some more. Amnesty International, Human Rights Watch, Global Rights, Frontline Defenders, Human Rights Without Frontiers, International Center for Human Rights, and also Conservation International, Wildlife Conservation Society, Conservation Fund, Legal Conservation Voters, Earthwatch Institute, Conservancy Association, Earth Justice, the Conservation Volunteers, and also the Wildlife Conservation Network, Endangered Wildlife Trust, Biodiversity and Nature Conservancy Association, Rare Species Conservation Center, Wildlife Research and Conservation Trust, Rainforest Trust, the International Rainforest Conservation Organization, Rainforest Alliance, the Rainforest Action Network, and also Biodiversity International, Earth Day Network, Environmental Defense Fund, Friends of the Earth, Friends of Nature, Greenpeace, the Nature Conservancy, Wildlife Conservation Society, Soil and Water Conservation, Clean Water Action, World Water Council, Marine Conservation Institute, Marine Conservation Alliance, the Oceanic Preservation Society, Oceanic Society, Global Ocean Commission, the International Marine Life Alliance. There are many others. There's some more. There are many more organizations like the one we just mentioned, and they trying to stop all the crimes that the sorority and the fraternity, and the old world secret societies, that's the basis of the sorority and the fraternity, from committing. And they commit crimes because, they work for these businesses, they work for these companies, they work for these corporations, and they commit crimes against humanity, atrocities that violate human rights and civil rights, inhumanity, genocide, ethnic cleansing, all forms of discrimination and harassment. They pollute the air, ground, the water, as well as noise pollution. They destroy the environment, they destroy nature, they destroy wildlife. Don't be misled by the sorority and the fraternity. They some wannabe devil worshippers. That's what they are. Some wannabe. There's no such thing as worshiping no devil. They some wannabe. So don't be misled by the sorority and fraternity wannabe devil worshippers over there at the university, college and university campus. Now, Okay, now this is the list of place names of Native American origin in the United States. See, this is the pre. See, this is why this is important. The pre-13 colonies, the history of the United States, as well as the New World, what we call the New World. Mexico, Central America, South America, the Caribbean, North America, so on and so forth. The Native Americans and the First Americans, they were already here, and that history is very important. It's very important. We don't negate that history. It's very important. And this is a list of place names of Native American origin in the United States. Now, like I said, we talking about place names of Native American origin in the United States, like states, and then in every state you have regions, you have districts, you have counties, and you have cities, big towns, and so on and so forth. And then you have lakes, streams, you have rivers, you have rocks and the air you breathe, and so on and so forth. So, Native American, First American, place names. Now, the state names: Alabama, Alaska, Arizona, Arkansas, Connecticut, Hawaii, Idaho, Illinois, Iowa, Kansas, Kentucky, Massachusetts, Michigan, Minnesota, Mississippi, Missouri, Nebraska, New Mexico, North and South Dakota, Ohio, Oklahoma, Tennessee, Texas, Utah, Wisconsin, Wyoming. See, that history is very important. It's very important. Now let me scroll down. See also. And it says list of place names of indigenous origin in the Americas. So that history is very important. We don't negate that history. We don't negate the history of the First American. We don't negate the history of the Native American. It's very important to all of us. History in general is important to each and every one of us, and we don't negate any history. You understand? All history is important. See, when it comes to saying all these words and talking about you a boss and you a goon, you a thug, and you a crook and you a hoodlum and all that, and you're a Mac and a player, and you're a pimp and a whore, and you're a hustler, you're a nigga, you know, feeling out. See, all that gang and mob and putting stir on. See that what? First American, Native American history is important. It's important. We don't negate their history. Their pre-13 colonies history. It's important. The history of the East African, West African slave trade. The history before the East African, West African slave trade is important. And so, now, and so the Catholic Church, the Latin Rite, the Alexandrian Rite, the Armenian Rite, the Byzantine Rite, the East Syrian Rite, the West Syrian Rite, the Catholic Church, organized crime, the wannabe devil worshippers, the Protestant Reformation Movement Church, the 95 Theses. That is the Catholic Church, because the people who were protesting were Catholics, and the people who called the Catholics that were protesting Protestant, they were Catholic. It was the Catholic Church. Now the Protestant Reformation Movement Church in 95 Theses, you have major branches, you have minor branches. You have the interdenominational movement, you have other developments, then you have related movements. Then you have the American Restoration Movement, Stone Campbell Movement churches. That's the Church of Christ, or the unaffiliated Christian Church, Church of Christ congregations, the Christian Church Disciple. Look, the American Restoration Movement, Stone Campbell Movement. That's some there again some wannabe devil worship. That's the Catholic Church. See, they was talking about going back to the first century church, the Catholic Church. You know, the Catholic Church. They weren't trying to do what's right. They did the same thing. They was taking verses and scriptures out of the Bible and making up this so-called church doctrine and all that. Well, see, we already know that there's only one church. There's only one church. That our Lord and our Savior, Jesus Christ, the Son of God, established only one church. One church, only one. And that church was persecuted. That church was persecuted and still being persecuted. Still being persecuted. We're going to get it straightened out. We're getting it straightened out today. We're getting it straightened out. And it's a process. It's going to be a lot of court. Like I've been saying always, it's going to be a lot of court all around the world. We're going to the United Nations. We're going to make it official. The International Criminal Court is there. The International Criminal Court is there, and you best believe it's going to be criminal and civil charges. It's going to be criminal and civil charges. You ain't getting away. There ain't no getting away. And so, when we talk about the first century, you remember St. Ignatius of Antioch? See, that's what I'm talking about. See, there's no such thing as no Catholic Church. There's no such thing. See, that's persecution. St. Ignatius of Antioch, he wrote several letters. And one of the letters that he wrote to the Smyrnaeans. And in that letter that St. Ignatius wrote to the Smyrnaeans, he wrote the phrase, Catholic Church. There's no such thing. That's the occult. That's what he was. He was an occultist. That's what the Catholic Church is. It's the occult. But that's all these people do. They some wannabe devil worshippers. Now, as you know, St. Ignatius in front of 50,000 plus fans at the Roman Colosseum. I don't know what day. I had to go back into the history, and see what day of the week it was. And I don't know how much the price of the tickets were. And I had to, look into the history. And as you know, he was eaten alive by lions. There's an S on the end, lions. So that tells us it was more than one. It's plural. Lion means one. If you put an S on it, it's plural. It means more than one. You understand? So it means more than one. So there was more than one lion that ate him alive. Okay. Now, then you had these other man-made groups, such as the Mormon Church. Oh, it's going to be criminal and civil charge. Ain't no such thing. Scientology, L. Ron Hubbard. People, for example, you had these cult groups. like David Koresh, what was that? Jim Jones. Now you had these so-called prophets, Zoroaster. What's the name? Prophet Muhammad, the Sunni Muslim, Prophet Ali, the Shiite Muslim, the Baha'i, they had a prophet. The Sikhs, they also had a prophet. He wrote some kind of book. And so, and then you had these groups, like the Moorish Science Temple, the Nation of Islam, the 5% Nation, the American Muslim Society. Khalid Muhammad, he was affiliated with the Nation of Islam. He started the New Black Panther Party. Then you have all these various black Hebrew Israelite groups. For example, Ben Amin over there in Israel. You know, black Hebrew Israelite. He's not the only one there. Then you have the Rastafarian movement. Then you have all these various Pan-Africanist movements. It's going to be criminal and civil charges. Criminal and civil charges. Now, I know there's going to be a lot of people going on the run and, you know, trying to evade the risk. And like I've been telling you, do not kick my dog. Do not try to evade the risk. Do not, and I repeat, do not kick my dog. Don't kick my dog. And then we have the new feline unit that we're trying to get, because there's been a lot of discrimination. They don't want, you know, there's been a lot of discrimination. You know, the cats. See, the dog's been doing all these things for all of us humans, and the cats have been left out. There's been a lot of discrimination. It's going to have to, it's a possibility we're going to have affirmative action for the cats, and so on and so forth. So it's going to be a lot of court behind this. And so, but like I said, you know, that's the Catholic Church. Now, moving right along. We know this Saul from Tarsus, the self-proclaimed Apostle Paul. He's a liar. He's a murderer. He's a devil. And all these man-made religious organization groups, they use those epistles that he wrote. All lies, calling himself an apostle. Now, one of the verses that they use, Romans chapter 16, verse 16, salute one another with the holy kiss, the church with the suffix ES, churches of Christ salutes you. Another verse they use that Saul from Tarsus, the self-proclaimed Apostle Paul, wrote, 2 Thessalonians chapter 1, verse 4, so that we understand glory in you, the church, with the suffix E, churches of God, for your patient faith and all your persecution and tribulation that ye endure. Now, this is a list of occult terms from A to Z. And this is a list of occult symbols. Now this is world religions and occult symbols. And so, excuse me. And so, as you can see, all that wannabe devil worship, some wannabe, there's no such thing. So you take verses in scripture and you distort God's word. That's where all that came from. See, it's no such thing. There's no such thing as worshiping the devil. There's no such thing. All them occult symbols and the occult terms. See, when you get through talking, And you talking about you got a degree and all that. When you get through talking, you just want to be devil worshiper. Because ain't nothing you saying right. All right, hold on. And see, that's the reason why it's so important that we make sure we don't negate history. All history is important. All history is important. And see, all this about the East Coast. See, when we talk about those pirates, see, we talk a lot about history, about the Europeans settling in, those European settlers, explorers that came over and explored the New World, and look at what you have today. But see, that was pre-13 colonies. And see, when those explorers came over, see, those pirates also were traveling. They were moving around, and they was on those ships. Those ships would come in this direction. But see, them pirates, they was some wannabe devil worshippers. See, that's what. And so when we talk about the East Coast, there's no such thing, no gang and no mob, and then put a stir on the end of it. See, we know where it's based. All that boss and goon and thug and crook, hoodlum and mac and player and talking about you a pimp and a whore and a hustler and talking about you a nigga and all that. And see, the East African, West African slave trade, and let's don't forget that when we talk about the slave trade and bringing slaves from sub-Saharan Africa to the East Coast, you had slave ports in the southern states. Texas was a slave port. Louisiana was a slave port. The state of Mississippi was a slave port. Alabama, we know about the state of Alabama. The last slave from sub-Saharan Africa came from Sub-Saharan came to the state of Alabama. So all this about slavery in the state of Florida. We know slaves on both sides of the state of Florida. Slaves were being brought. Then Mexico, there was a slave port in Mexico. It slipped my mind right now. But you know what I'm talking about, the slave port that was in Mexico. And so we know history is important. It's important. And so the East Coast, no such thing as no slave. No gang and mob based on the East Coast. No such thing. You see, all that stuff goes back to the pre-13 colonies. The East African, West African, all that boss and goon and thug and crook and hoodlum and all that gang and mob and all that stuff. See, it's all evil and wicked. There's nothing right about saying all that stuff. And them same criminals, Chicago, Illinois, the state of Illinois, Chicago, Illinois, it was them same criminals. There's no such thing as no folk gang, no my people gang. There's no such thing. There's no such thing. There's no such thing riding around no motorcycle talking about you in a gang and a mob. There's no such thing. It goes all the way back to them criminals, them pirates. That's where it goes back. Wannabe devil worshippers. The city of Los Angeles, California, is them same criminals. There's no such thing, no blood gang, no Crip gang. There's no such thing, no Stone gang. There's no such thing. It goes all the way back to pre-13 colonies. It goes all the way back to the pre-13 colony. It goes all the way back to the Mediterranean, to them pirates that were based in Cilicia and Tarsus, who were involved in slave trading. See, it goes all the way back to the Hittites and the Hittites, the Perizzites, the Jebusites, the Girgasites, the Amorites, the Canaanites, the Midianites, the Moabites, the Philistines. It goes all the way back. Some wannabe devil worshippers. The devil. That's where it goes back to. So I'm gonna get ready to end my Instagram video. And after I end my Instagram video, my YouTube channel is recording. And I'm gonna do my Periscope video today because I'm gonna come back tomorrow, do my Facebook Live. And like I say, this is the Memorial Day weekend, so I'm gonna have the opportunity, instead of doing 2, I'm off this weekend. I don't go back to work till Tuesday, so it'll be 3 videos. It's gonna be 3 videos this weekend, you know. So and so now these are just a few of the free logo design websites that you can go to make anti-gang logos. And so again, I'm going to end my Instagram video. And when I end my Instagram video, I'm going to do my Periscope video. So all those who are watching, because we're going to do some Bible reading. See, all that wannabe devil worship, we're going to go and do some Bible reading. And we're going to make sure we reinforce there's no such thing as being a wannabe devil worship. There's no such thing. Because see, we read God's word. God tell you in his word, in the New Testament, he tells you, first of all, John the Baptist told you that there's one that comes after me that's mightier than I. And he is going to burn up all the chaff with unquenchable fire. But John the Baptist said that Jesus Christ gonna put the wheat in the garner. See, there's no such thing as being no devil worship. And also Jesus Christ, the Son of God, said in his own word, out of his own mouth, in the book of Matthew. Matter of fact, before I end my book, go to the book of Matthew. You can turn to the book of Matthew for all those on Instagram. See, it's no such thing as being no devil worship. You can go to the book of Matthew, chapter 13, all verses 1 through 58. And also go to the book of Matthew, chapter 25, verses 1 through 46. And also go to the book of Mark, chapter 4, verses 1 through 32. And also go to the book of Mark, chapter 13, verses 1 through 37. There's no such thing being no devil worship. And so, like I said, I'm gonna end my Instagram video. After I end my Instagram video, I'm gonna do my Periscope video, and we finna get to this Bible reading. Because, like I said, it's important. Let me say this: it will be criminal and civil charge. The United Nations is only one church, only one church, only one. Jesus Christ, the Son of God, established only one church. Matthew chapter 16 verses 13 through 19. Matthew chapter 18 verses 15 through 20. It's only one church, only one. It will be criminal and civil charge. We're going to the United Nations, and we're going to make it official. And at the same time, we're going to the United Nations, the International Criminal Court. Criminal and civil charge. You're not getting away with that. The Catholic Church ain't getting away. All them Protestant Reformation Church, all that American Restoration Movement, and all these man-made religious organizations and groups, you're not getting away with it. You're not getting away. You see, every nation on this earth is a member of the United Nations. And they have a Justice Department and a Ministry of Justice. Criminal and civil charge, and all these businesses, companies, and corporations. See, I told you back in 2018 it's going to be criminal and civil charge. And here we are today. It's going to be criminal and civil charge. See, it's a slow process. It's a process. When you deal with the court, it's not like it's a process. But still, so don't be discouraged. Be encouraged. Be encouraged, because it's just maintain your composure. All these people that in all these groups, and it's a process. And we already know some people, they gonna go on a run, try to evade arrest. I already know, man. But irregardless, justice will be served. So I'm gonna get ready to end today's video, my Instagram video. Like I say, as soon as I end my Instagram video, I'm gonna do my Periscope video, and my YouTube channel is recorded. So and remember, always put God first. I just ended my Instagram video, so I'm gonna do my now I'm gonna do my Periscope video. Do my Periscope video. Hello, everybody. My name is Eric D. Johnson, also known by BrightShine, right here in the city of Memphis and the county in the state of Tennessee. Today date is early Sunday morning, May the 26th, 2019. The time 2:59 a.m. First, I thank all my family, my support for your continued encouragement and support. Anti-gang. Anti-gang. Now these are just a few of the free logo design websites that you can go to make anti-gang logos. Now remember these words: coercion, coerce, sexual coercion, psychological coercion, psychological manipulation, psychological abuse. Now, let me say this. At first, I just did my Instagram video, so I'm finished. I want to make this clear. This is the Memorial Day weekend. This is the Memorial Day weekend, and it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. So this weekend, I'm off this weekend. So I'm gonna do 3 videos. I'm gonna do 3 videos this weekend. It's my intent. Do 3 videos. Do a video today. Do a video tomorrow and Monday. I'm gonna do 3 videos this weekend. And so that's actually the end of my Instagram video. And so this is the Memorial Day weekend. Let me start it. Let me make sure I don't forget. The United Nations, the International Day of United Nations Peacekeepers. I want to make sure I mention that. Alright. So like I said, it's gonna be 3 videos. Let me say this. While it's on my mind, I don't want to forget. We're gonna do some Bible reading today. That's my intent. So I'm gonna be moving fast. I'm gonna be moving fast on certain things to get to my Bible reading. Because when I do certain things, they take a little time. So I'm gonna move a little fast. And that way I can get to my Bible reading and I can do the Bible reading I want. Because I want to be devil worship. There's no such thing as devil worship. No such thing as devil worship. No such thing. And we're gonna get to the Bible, and we're gonna get to our Bible reading, and we're gonna establish it, and we're gonna make it clear. There's no such thing no Bible. There's no such thing as worship no devil. Never has been, never will be. God didn't tell you to worship no devil. God didn't tell you you had the right to worship no devil. But we're gonna get to the Bible. We're gonna make it clear. But I'm gonna continue to complain. I'm gonna continue to speak out. People saying they are gang, they are stir, and then they talking about they are gang, they are mob. Then they put the word stir. Merriam-Webster stir, the International Dictionary, Oxford English, it gives you the complete, total definition, meaning of the word gang, mob, stir, and any other word. Then he said you're a boss, you're a goon, you're a thug, you're a crook, you're a hoodlum, you're a mac, you're a player, you're a pimp, you're a whore, you're a hustler, you're a nigga, you're a field nigga, house nigga. Well, it's street slang. People all over there communicate and use language. Now, examples of street slang: tic-tac-toe, hopscotch. When it comes to music, street slang, hip hop, rock and roll, swing, groove, jazz, blues, funk, doo-wop, bebop. It's street slang. Nothing official, nothing right about no street slang. Now, people all over the earth use money, currency exchange. And people make up street slang for money, currency exchange. And so, here in the United States of America, we can go to the quick reference, Wikipedia, and we can look up money, currency exchange, and we can see that there are street slang for money, currency exchange. Here in the United States of America, for example, street slang, examples of street slang for money, currency exchange: bucks, rack, stack, bands, bread, dough, scratch, loot, moolah, Benjamin, dead presidents. And street slang. Nothing official, nothing right about no street slang. Now, let me make this clear. I graduated high school, and it's important that I make that point. It's important. That's an important point to make. That I did graduate high school. So when you hear street slang, I graduated high school. And I also have years of college. I have some years of college. That's important. That's an important point to make. That you graduated high school and you got some years of college when it comes to street slang. Some people didn't graduate high school, but they got a GED and they got some years of college. They earned a bachelor, associate degree, bachelor degree, PhD with a GED. Now I know they took the ACT and the SAT. We're gonna get to that. And then you have those people who just didn't go that far in school. They dropped out of school for whatever reason. There's various reasons why people, leave school, don't finish school. But then, if you ain't finished school, then you don't know reading, you don't know writing, you don't know math, you don't know science, and you don't know technology, and you don't know social studies, and you don't know vocational and technical training. Now I know on-the-job training. On-the-job training is on-the-job training. Then you have those people who did go further in school, who graduated high school. They took the ACT, the SAT, and they earned a social degree. They earned a bachelor degree, PhD. Let me see. It's just a little joke. Let me see the ACT. Let me see this ACT score. Let me see the ACT. The ACT. Okay, I just a little joke. Jack got one in. Okay, let me. SAT. Okay. Now, the sorority and the fraternity. Now I'm gonna have to move a little faster. Harvard University, and make sure you don't forget how important it is. The pre-13 colony history. That's important. We don't negate. That's very important. The pre-13 colony history. That's important. See all that stuff about saying gang and mob and all those street slang term boss and goon. It does see the 13 colony history. The pre-13 colony history. That's important. Harvard University, the oldest institute of higher learning in the United States, founded March 13, 1639, Cambridge, Massachusetts. William and Mary College, Williamsburg, Virginia, founded February 8, 1693, second oldest institute of higher learning. Phi Beta Campus Society, founded December 5, 1776. The College of William and Mary recognized the first Greek letter student society in North America. Alpha Delta Pi, first sorority, founded in 1851, Wesleyan College, Macon, Georgia. The first organization to adopt the word sorority, Gamma Phi Beta, established on November 11, 1874, Syracuse University, Syracuse, New York. And then you had this first women's fraternity at DuPont College, 18-something. Examples of the basis of the sorority and fraternity, them old world secret societies. For example, the Eastern Star, the Freemasons. They talk about Euclid, the mathematician, then Alexander Egypt, 1390, 1425, mentioned in the Hollowell manuscript, the Regent form in the Cook manuscript. And you also have the Downing manuscript. Now, examples of them old world secret society: Skull and Bone, Rosicrucian, the Sons of Liberty, Third Society, Prior Society, Ordo Temple Oriental, Knights of the Golden Eagle of Women, the Ancient Arab Order of Nobles of the Mission Shrine, the Improved Order of Women, the P.O. Sisterhood, the Eastern Star, the Freemasons, the Elks, the Moose, the Bilderberg Group, the Ku Klux Klan, the Knights of Bethesda, Knights of Columbus, the Illuminati, the Forester Society, the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn, the Mystic Order of the Bell Prophets, the Enchanted Realm, the United Order of the Golden Crown, United Ancient Order of Druids, the National Grain, the Ancient Order of Hermanans. Then you have the Opus Dei, the Knights Templar, the Scottish Rite. I mean, there's just a few. There's some more. The Spanish Garduna, the Carbonarian, the Black Hand. You say Mafia. There's Afro-Asiatic. You say Cosa Nostra. There's Latin. The Triad, the Yakuza, the Osirica. There's just a few. There's some more. The sorority and the fraternity. Don't be misled by the sorority and fraternity. Don't be misled by the sorority and fraternity. They commit crimes on and off the campus, on and off the college and university campus. And they use hazing. Hazing is a crime. And those initiation rituals is some supposedly devil worship. To be initiated to a sorority fraternity, they use those rituals, supposed rituals, is devil worship, some wannabe devil worship. The sorority fraternity, they use and abuse tobacco products, like chewing tobacco and cigarettes, cigar. They put drugs in the cigarettes and cigars. They indulge in gambling and gangs of chance. They use and abuse alcohol and drugs. They indulge in immoral activity, burglary, robbery, lying and cheating and stealing, bribery, extortion, whatever a crime is, they give to. They indulge in sexual deviance, the pride. Look, don't let the sorority fraternity mislead. Don't join the sorority fraternity. Get out of the sorority fraternity. You understand? Don't discourage others not to get involved in the sorority fraternity. And expose the sorority fraternity. renounce all those individuals that started the sorority and fraternity from Old World Secret Society. Denounce the whole idea, concept of a sorority and fraternity from Old World Secret Society. And then all these people that sorority and fraternity, these businesses, these companies, these corporations, they use and misuse the background check. They commit crimes against humanity, atrocities, violate human and civil rights, inhumanity, genocide, and ethnic cleansing, all forms of discrimination and harassment. They pollute the air, ground, and water, as well as noise pollution. They destroy the environment. They destroy nature. They destroy wildlife. Don't be misled by the sorority fraternity. And this is the International Bill of Human Rights. And this is the Convention on Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women. And this is the Declaration of the Rights of the Child. And this is the United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child. This is the world's oldest human rights organization, Anti-Slavery International. And this is the International Federation for Human Rights. And this is the world's oldest international conservation organization, BirdLife International. And this is Fauna and Flora International, was the world's first international wildlife conservation organization. And this is the world's oldest global environmental organization, the International Union for Conservation of Nature, and also the World Wildlife Fund. Just like the organization we just mentioned, there's some more. Amnesty International, Human Rights Watch, Global Rights, Frontline Defenders, Human Rights Without Frontiers, International Service for Human Rights, and also Conservation International, Wildlife Conservation Society, the Conservation Fund, Legal Conservation Voters, the Earthwatch Institute for Services Association, Earth Justice, the Conservation Volunteers, the Wildlife Conservation Network, Endangered Wildlife Trust, the Biodiversity Nature Conservancy Association, the Rare Species Conservation Center, the Wildlife Research and Conservation Trust, the Rainforest Trust, the International Rainforest Conservation Organization, the Rainforest Alliance, Rainforest Action Network, and there are many more. Biodiversity International, Earth Day Network, Environmental Defense Fund, Friends of the Earth, Friends of Nature, Greenpeace, the Nature Conservancy, Wildlife Conservation Society, Soil and Water Conservation, Clean Water Action, World Water Council, Marine Conservation Institute, Marine Conservation Alliance, Ocean Preservation Society, Ocean Society, Global Ocean Commission, the International Marine Life Alliance. There are many more organizations that's trying to end, they're trying to stop all the crimes that the sorority and the fraternity in the old world secret society that are the basis of the sorority and fraternity that they commit. And they work for these businesses, these companies, these corporations, the sorority and fraternity. And they commit crimes against humanity, atrocity. They violate human rights and civil rights, inhumanity, genocide, and ethnic cleansing, all forms of discrimination and harassment. They pollute the air, ground, and water, as well as noise pollution. They destroy the environment. They destroy nature. They destroy wildlife. Don't be misled by the sorority and fraternity. Don't be misled by the sorority and fraternity. And now, we know how important history is. All history is important. All history is important. We don't negate any history. And all this about gang and mob and the pre-13 colonists is very important. See, all that stuff about gang and mob and putting stir on the end and talking about boss and goon and thug and crook and hooligan, Mac and player and pimp and whore and hustler and nigga and all that. Well, see, all that comes, it goes all the way back to the pre-13 colonies. See, when the European explorers came over, well, see, the Native Americans, the first Americans, they were already living here in this part of the world, of the earth. The first American, Native Americans. And see, there's a reason why, like I said, when I talk about how I graduated high school, it's important. And that I got some years of college. Because when you say boss, you say master. See, the pronunciation, the East African, West African slave trade, and the slave trade before the East African slave trade, the pirates, the Mediterranean. See, it's important. All history is important. All history is important. Because when you hear gang and mob stir, gangster, you hear crook, you hear thug. See, and when you see me and you see the pronunciation, you hear the pronunciation. It's important. It's important. It's very important. We don't negate history. All history is important. All history is important. And so what we have here is a list of place names of indigenous origin in the Americas. Oh, wait a minute, hold on. Let me go. I'm on the wrong one. Oh, there we go. Let me scroll back. The list of place names of Native American origin in the United States. In the United States. And we know that's important. The first American, Native American. And when you have state names, the state names, and then, you know, in every state you have regions, you have districts, you have counties, you know, and then you have districts in the county and cities, towns. And so now, state names of Native American, Alabama, Alaska, Arizona, Arkansas, Connecticut, Hawaii, Idaho, Illinois, Iowa, Kansas, Kentucky, Massachusetts, Michigan, Minnesota, Mississippi, Missouri, Nebraska, New Mexico, North and South Dakota, Ohio, Oklahoma, Tennessee, Texas, Utah, Wisconsin, Wyoming. It's important. It's important. Now let's scroll down. Let's scroll down to where it says see also to list of place names of indigenous origin in the Americas. See, the Catholic Church, the Latin Rite, the Alexandrian Rite, the Armenian Rite, the Byzantine Rite, the East Syrian Rite, the West Syrian Rite. The Catholic Church, organized crime, some wannabe devil worship. The Protestant Reformation Movement Church, the 95 Thesis, some wannabe devil worship. That's the Catholic Church. Now, you know the Protestant Reformation Movement Church, 95 Thesis Church, the Protestants who were protesting against the Catholic Church, they were Catholics. And then the Catholic Church called them Catholic that were protesting against the Catholic Church Protestants. You have major branches, you have minor branches, you have interdenominational movement, you have other developments, and you have related movements. And also, and like I said, that's the Catholic Church. Then you have the American Restoration Movement, Stone Campbell Movement, the Churches of Christ, the unaffiliated Christian Church, Church of Christ Congregation, Christian Church, Disciples of Christ. That's the Catholic Church. You know, they were talking about going back to the 1st century. And Stone Campbell and Barney Stone, you know, they took a handshake, they took verses and scripture out of the Bible and made up some church doctrine. And you know there was a church already, you know, in existence already. So it wasn't no such thing as making up all this American Restoration Movement, Stone Campbell Movement. There's no such thing. It's the Catholic Church, organized crime, some wannabe devil worship. And so, when we talk about the 1st century, you know, you go back to like Saint Ignatius of Antioch. He wrote several letters. One of the letters that he wrote to the Smyrnaeans. And in that letter that Saint Ignatius of Antioch wrote to the Smyrnaeans, he wrote that phrase, Catholic Church. That's the occult. And that's what the Catholic Church is, the occult. And they're occultists. And to be an occultist, you're a devil. You wannabe devil worship. There's no such thing being a devil worship. And then you have all these man-made religious groups. Scientology, L. Ron Hubbard, the Mormon Church. You have the Zoroastrian, Islam, the Sunni Muslim, Prophet Muhammad, the Shiite Muslim, Prophet Ali, then the Baha'i, they had a prophet. The Sikhs, they had a prophet. He wrote a book. And you have cult groups like, what's his name? David Koresh, Jim Jones, for example. And you have groups like the Moorish Science Temple, the Nation of Islam, the 5% Nation, the American Muslim Society. Khalid Muhammad was affiliated with the Nation of Islam. He started the new Black Panther Party. You have all these various groups that call themselves Black Hebrew Israelites, for example, over there in Israel. Ben Ami, over there in Israel, Black Hebrew Israelite. You have all these Rastafarian movement people. And then you have all these Pan-Africanists. See, it's going to be criminal and civil charges. Now, if you want to go on a run, you can, want to go on a run, go ahead. Trying to evade arrest now. Now, if you want to go on a run, go, trying to evade arrest. Now, if you kick my dog, I'm telling you, don't you kick my dog. Don't you kick my dog. And as you know, the new feline unit. The new feline, see, this is the problem. See, you've been discriminating against the cats. You've been discriminating against the cats. And so it's a possibility you're going to have affirmative action for the cats. It's going to have to be a budget, and somebody's going to have to take a pay cut to pay for the new feline. Now, I don't, there's going to be some budget cuts for the new feline, but anyway. Now, let's get to what time is it? Okay. Now, Saul from Tarsus, the self-proclaimed Apostle Paul. Now, you know he's a liar. He's a murderer. He's the devil. He's the devil. And so, and I'm going to get to that thing. But, that's what he is. He's a liar, a murderer. He's the devil. Now, all those man-made religious ones, they use those epistles that he wrote and claiming that he was an apostle. One of the verses that they use, Romans chapter 16, verse 16, salute one another with the holy kiss, the church with the suffix es, churches, Christ salutes you. Now, this is 2 Thessalonians chapter 1, verse 4. So that we ourselves glory in you and the church with the suffix es of God for your patient faith in all your persecution and tribulation that ye endure. Now, this is a list of occult terms from A to Z. Now, this is a list of occult symbols. And this is world religions and occult symbols. And these are occult symbols. This the now the United States of America, like all other governments around the world, they enact laws that are intended to make each and every one of us safe from crime. And the United States of America government, they enacted the Organized Crime Control Act of 1970 and Title IX of the Organized Crime Control Act of 1970, the RICO Act. Racketeer, Influence, and Corrupt Organization at the RICO Act. It's anti-gang. And the Comprehensive Drug Abuse Prevention and Control Act of 1970, the Controlled Substance Act, the Psychotropic Substance Act, the Continuing Criminal Enterprise Statute, Kingpin Statute, is all anti-gang. The Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention Act of 1974 established the Office of Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention, and then as well as other related legislation is anti-gang. The Comprehensive Anti-Gang Initiative, the Office of Juvenile Justice, Delinquency Prevention, and the Comprehensive Gang Model Office of Juvenile Justice, Delinquency Prevention, the Bureau of Justice Assist, the Office of Justice Program, the United States Department of Justice, the Office of Justice Program, the Bureau of Justice Assist, the United States Department of Justice, Comprehensive Anti-Gang Initiative Project, Safe Neighborhood, the United States Department of Justice, the Office of Community-Oriented Police Service, the Comprehensive Anti-Gang Initiative, the Office of Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention, the United States Department of Justice, the Office of Justice Program, the Bureau of Justice Assist, the International Narcotics Law Enforcement Affairs, the United States Department of State Institute for Intergovernmental Affairs, Gang Resistant Education and Training, the GREAT Program, the United States Department of Justice, the Office of Justice Program, the Office of Juvenile Justice, the Delinquency Prevention, October 2009, the National Youth Gang Center, which have been funded by the Office of Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention since 1995, merged with the National Gang Center, which have been funded by the Bureau of Justice since 2003. The National Gang Center compilation of state laws against gang prevention, overview of research program, Mr. James and the Office of Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention. The United States Department of Justice, Bureau of Justice Assist, the Office of Juvenile Justice, Delinquency Prevention, National Gang Center Bulletin, and the title of the bulletin, History of Street Gangs in the United States. And in the bulletin, there are books in the bulletin to refer to. Read those books in the bulletin so you can refer to. And also, you can go to the quick reference, Wikipedia, and find the same information as titled Gangs in the United States. The United States Department of Justice, Office of the United States Attorney, Man, 1457 Criminal Street Gang Statute, 18 United States Code 521. The United States Department of Justice, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, National Gang Intelligence Center, the United States Department of Justice, Organized Crime and Gang Section. Then there are other federal, state, and local agencies. The United States Department of Justice, Office of Justice Program, National Institute of Justice, Anti-Gang Strategies, Prevention, Intervention, Assessment, and Suppression. The United States Department of Justice, Office of Justice Program, National Institute of Justice, the United States Department of Health and Human Services, the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, the National Center for Prevention and Control, Changing Course, Preventing Gang Membership, and also striving to reduce youth violence everywhere. The United States Department of Justice, the United States Department of Education, the United States Department of Health and Human Services, the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development, the United States Department of Labor, and the White House Office of National Drug Control Policy, National Forum, Youth Violence Prevention Forum. You can go to youth.gov and be informed about the National Forum, Youth Violence Prevention, as well as the Comprehensive Anti-Gang Initiative, the Comprehensive Gang Model, the United States Department of Justice, Bureau of Justice Assistant, National Crime Prevention Council, Keeping Kids Out of Gangs, and also anti-hazing. You can go to Lloyd.com, be informed about anti-hazing. That's the Department of Justice. And let us not forget, see, we brought this up last week, and I'm just going to mention it again. People talk about their rights. You know, people have, for example, here in the United States of America, we have a Constitution, a Bill of Rights. And you got, like, freedom of speech. You have the right, freedom of speech, freedom of assembly. We have the right to bear arms, for example. We have freedom of religion. You understand? Freedom of the only property, and freedom of the press, and so on and so forth. All these rights, even at the United Nations, you have rights, to education. But see, like they say, people have rights, but with your rights come responsibility. You have to be responsible with your rights. You understand? Somebody want to smoke cigarettes. Well, okay. People, you feel like you got the right to smoke cigarettes, but they said this, all this stuff about cancer and you want to smoke cigarettes. Now that's the reason why you have a designated smoking area. Just because you got the right to smoke cigarettes and give yourself cancer, that don't mean secondhand smoke. Other people want to inhale all that cancerous vapors from your cigarette and then get cancer themselves. See, that's being responsible. And just like we've been talking about the right to bear arms, to defend yourself. People have the right to carry a weapon for self-defense. But then, they don't give you the right to use excessive force and to falsely accuse someone of trying to assault you or anything of that nature. Because there's been a lot of court cases where somebody just knocked on the wrong door. And because you had the right to bear arms, somebody lost their life. There's been a lot of controversy about self-defense. And there's still a lot of controversy about people having the right to bear arms and defend themselves and their property and their home and their businesses. Because a lot of innocent people have lost their lives, including law enforcement. We have a lot of controversial court cases about law enforcement. In some countries, you're hearing in the United States of America, police officers carry a firearm. But in other countries, some countries, law enforcement, they don't carry a firearm. They don't carry a firearm. Even if the criminals do have weapons, law enforcement, they don't carry a firearm. See? So when it comes to freedom of religion, when it comes to freedom of speech, and you talking about all this esotericism and Gnosticism and exotericism and hermetism and theistic atheism, with theistic Satanism and atheistic Satanism, there's no such thing as devil worship. We're finna get to that now. That's the reason why I mentioned it. See, when you have rights, when you talk about rights, the Southern Baptist Convention and the National Baptist Convention, you don't have that right. That's not your right. You don't have the right to take words out of the Bible and lie. You don't have that right. The Church of Christ don't have that right. See what Stone Kemper and Barton, what Campbell and Barton did, that was wrong. You don't have that right. You don't have that right. What the Catholic Church did and doing, wrong. You don't have that right. That's not the Catholic Church right. There's no such thing. Devil worship. Want to be devil worship. So we're going to make sure we continue to make the same point. That with rights come responsibility. There's only one church. There's only one church that's being responsible. There's only one church. One. Jesus Christ, Son of God. He's our Lord. He's our Savior. He established one church that's being responsible. That's being accountable. That's our right. As for anybody else, the Protestants, that's not your right. It will be criminal and civil charges. Now, dealing with a court case, sometimes it's a slow process. Sometimes it's a slow process. But the wheels of justice is turning. The wheels of justice turning. There's an international criminal court We're going to go to the United Nations, make it official. We're going to make it official. There's only one church. And file criminal and civil charge. The International Criminal Court, every nation on this earth is a member of the United Nations. And there's a Justice Department, a Ministry of Justice, criminal and civil charge. All these businesses, companies, and corporations, I said it once before, in the past, there's going to be a lot of court. And here we are today. It's going to be a lot of court. It's going to be a lot of court. Now let's get to our Bible reading. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to start my video. And I know I got it. But I'm going to end this video that's running now, and then I'm going to start another one later on, about 30 minutes from now. This is almost 4 o'clock in the morning. And then I'm going to start another video, because let me see, it's going to be like, I think this is going to be 2.5. And then the other video going to be 2 hours. So this video going to be 2.5 hours. Then the last video, part 2, going to be 2 hours. Now, the birth of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, the Son of God. Matthew chapter 1, verses 18 through 25. Matthew chapter 2, verse 1 through 23. Luke chapter 1, verses 1 through 8. And Luke chapter 2, verse 1 through 52. Now, all those who are watching my video, you go to BibleStudy2.com, follow along. You go to BibleGateway.com, follow along. The Lord's Supper. Matthew chapter 26, verses 26 through 29. Mark chapter 14, verses 22 through 25. Luke chapter 22, verses 15 through 22. The Lord's Prayer. Matthew chapter 6, verses 9 through 13. And Luke chapter 11, verses 2 through 4. You can read the Beatitudes. Go to Matthew chapters 5, 6, and 7. And also Luke chapter 6, verses 20 through 49. Now, John the Baptist. Matthew chapter 13, verses 1 through 17. Emphasize verses 11 through 17. Mark chapter 1, verses 1 through 11. Emphasize verses 7 through 11. Luke chapter 3, verses 1 through 22. Emphasize verses 16 through 22. And John chapter 1, verses 15 through 34. Emphasize verses 26 through 34. Our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, Son of God, teach me in the synagogue. Matthew chapter 4, verse 23. Mark chapter 1, verse 21. Luke chapter 4, verse 15. John chapter 6, verse 59. Our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, Son of God, begins his ministry. Matthew chapter 4, verses 20 through 25. Emphasize verses 23 through 25. Mark chapter 1, verses 14 through 45. Emphasize verse 14. And verses 39 through 45. Luke chapter 4, verses 14 through 44. Emphasize verse 15, 43 and 44. And John chapter 1, verses 35 through 51. Our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, Son of God, chose 12 disciples. Matthew chapter 10, verses 1 through 42. Mark chapter 3, verses 13 through 35. Luke chapter 6, verses 13 through 49. And John chapter 6, verses 59 through 71. Our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, Son of God, established the one church. Matthew chapter 16, verses 13 through 19. And Matthew chapter 18, verses 15 through 20. Our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, Son of God, he gives his apostle commission. Matthew chapter 28, verses 16 through 20. Mark chapter 16, verses 14 through 20. Luke chapter 24, verses 44 through 49. And John chapter 21. The death, burial, and resurrection of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, Son of God. Matthew chapter 26, verses 1 through 75. Matthew chapter 27, verses 1 through 66. Emphasize verse 50. Joseph of Arimathea, a disciple of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, Son of God, took his body down from the cross. And also verses 57 through 60. Matthew chapter 28, verses 1 through 20. Emphasize verses 16 through 20. Mark chapter 14, verses 1 through 72. Mark chapter 15, verses 1 through 47, emphasize verse 37. Joseph of Arimathea, a disciple of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, Son of God, took his body down from the cross. And also verses 43 through 47. Mark chapter 16, verses 1 through 20, emphasize verses 14 through 20. Luke chapter 22, verses 1 through 71. And Luke chapter 23, verses 1 through 56. Emphasize verse 46. Joseph of Arimathea, a disciple of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, Son of God, took his body down from the cross. And also verses 50 through 56. Luke chapter 24, verses 1 through 53. Emphasize verses 44 through 53. John chapter 17, verses 1 through 26. John chapter 18, verses 1 through 4. John chapter 19, verses 1 through 42. Emphasize verse 30. Joseph of Arimathea, a disciple of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, Son of God, took his body down from the cross. And also verses 38 through 42. John chapter 20, verses 1 through 31. And John chapter 21, verses 1 through 25. Our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, Son of God, gives his apostle commission. Matthew chapter 28, verses 16 through 20. Mark chapter 16, verses 14 through 20. Luke chapter 24, verses 44 through 49. And John chapter 21. Now, now we're going to get to our Bible reading now. Excuse me. We're going to start our Bible reading in Matthew chapter 3, John the Baptist. See, this is important. See, when you have a foundation, you got to have a strong foundation to build upon. You got to have a strong foundation to build upon. This is one of the strongest foundations to build upon. Starting with John the Baptist, Matthew chapter 3, starting in verse number 1. In those days came John the Baptist preaching in the wilderness of Judea and saying, Repent ye, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand. For this is he that was spoken of by the prophet Isaiah, saying, The voice of one crying in the wilderness, Prepare ye the way of the Lord, make his path straight. And the same John had his raiment of camel's hair and a lantern girdle about his loins, and his meat was locusts and wild honey. Excuse me. Then went out to him Jerusalem and all Judea and all the region round about Jordan, and were baptizing him in Jordan, confessing their sins. But when he saw many of the Pharisees and Sadducees come to his baptism, he said unto them, O generation of vipers, who hath warned you to flee from the wrath to come? Bring forth therefore fruit meet for repentance. Pay attention. And think not to say within yourself, We have Abraham to our father, for I say unto you, that God is able of these stones to raise up children unto Abraham. And now also the axe is laid unto the root of the tree, therefore every tree will bring not forth good fruit, is hewn down and cast into the fire. Pay attention, listen. I indeed baptize you with water to repent, but he that cometh after me is mightier than I, whose shoes I am not worthy to bear. He shall baptize you with the Holy Ghost and with fire, whose fan is in his hand, and he will thoroughly purge his floor and gather his wheat into the garner, but he will burn up the chaff with unquenchable fire. Then cometh Jesus from Galilee to Jordan unto John to be baptized of him. But John forbade him, saying, I have need to be baptized of thee, and cometh thou to me? And Jesus answering said unto him, Suffer it to be so, for thus it becometh us to fulfill our righteousness. Then he suffered them. And Jesus, when he was baptized, went up straightway out of the water, and lo, the heavens were opened unto him, and he saw the Spirit of God descending like a dove and lighting upon him. And lo, a voice from heaven saying, This is my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased. Matthew chapter 4, we're going to continue to read Matthew chapter 4. We're going to start reading verse 1. Then was Jesus led of the Spirit into the wilderness to be tempted of the devil. And when he had fasted 40 days and 40 nights, he was afterward hungry. And when the tempter came to him, he said, If thou be the Son of God, command that these stones be made bread. But he answered and said, It is written, Man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of God. Then the devil taking him up into a holy city and set him on the hill. But to pay attention, the devil himself quoting verses of God's word, and saith unto him, If thou be the Son of God, cast thyself down, for it is written, He shall give his angels charge concerning thee, and in their hands they shall bear thee up, lest at any time thou dash thy foot against a stone. And Jesus said unto him, It is written again, Thou shalt not tempt the Lord thy God. Again, the devil taking him up into an exceeding high place, mountain, and shew of him all the kingdoms of the world and the glory of them, and said unto them, all these things will I give thee if thou wilt fall down and worship me. Then said Jesus unto them, get thee hence, Satan, for it is written, thou shalt worship the Lord thy God, and him only shalt thou serve. Then the devil leaving him, and behold, angels came and ministered unto him. Now when Jesus had heard that John was cast into prison, he departed into Galilee. And leaving Nazareth, he came and dwelt in Capernaum, which is upon the sea coast, in the borders of Zebulun and Naphtali, that it might be fulfilled which was spoken by Isaiah the prophet, saying, the land of Zebulun and the land of Naphtali, by the way of the sea beyond Jordan, Galilee of the Gentiles, the people which sat in darkness saw great light, and to them which sat in the region and shadow of death, light. We sprung from that time, Jesus began to preach and say, repent, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand. And Jesus, walking by the sea of Galilee, saw two brethren, Simon called Peter and Andrew his brother, cast their net into the sea, for they were fishers. And he said unto them, follow me, and I will make you fishers of men. And they straightway left their nets and followed him. And going on from thence, he saw other two brethren, James the son of Zebedee, and John his brother, in his ship with Zebedee their brother, mending their nets. And he called them, and they immediately left the ship and their father, and followed him. And Jesus went out about all Galilee, teaching in their synagogue, and preaching the gospel of the kingdom, and healing all manner of sickness and all manner of disease among the people. And his fame went throughout all Syria, and they brought unto him all sick people that were taken with divers diseases and torments, and those which were possessed with devils, and those which were lunatic, and those that had the palsy, and he healed them. And there followed him a great multitude of people from Galilee, and from the Decapolis, and from Jerusalem, and from Judea, and from beyond Jordan. But like I said earlier, it's gonna be a part 1 and part 2 to the YouTube video, and it's gonna be dated. Part 1 gonna be dated May the 26th, 2019, part 1, and part 2 gonna be dated 5/26, 2019. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna get ready to end this video, then I'm gonna start another video. Come on.